Hello and welcome back. This is David from the Personal Finance Squad. Now we're going to get into section 11.7, withdrawing money from the 401k. This is a very important thing to understand because if money is taken out that breaks a rule, the cost is very steep. So right off the bat, let's look at a couple pieces of information here. Okay, so let's look right here and we can see right off the bat that 59.5 years of age is the earliest you can take withdrawals without penalty. And then by the time you hit 70.5, you're going to have to take out the minimum withdrawal because the government wants you to start spending money. Now, if someone chooses to take money out prior to 59.5, those are considered hardship withdrawals, and they come with penalties. And there are penalty-free withdrawals, and we will look at those in a second. But in most cases, withdrawals are not accepted unless it's a special circumstance. So right off the bat, let's just take a quick gander at what the IRS is saying. And here's some reasons you can take a distribution. And so you can see that there's medical expenses, there's an employee residence that needs to be purchased, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, for example, college tuition. We can see that eviction of your home, funeral expenses, repair of a damaged house. So you can see these are all cases where you just simply need money. And generally speaking, you should have money to cover most of these things if you budget your money and make a living. But people get into financial hardships, and this is why many reasons you can see here that are common that people take money out. It is important to note, though, that you have to demonstrate a financial hardship. You can't just take money out and say, hey, you know, I blew up too much money on my credit cards and I got to pay them down. They don't let you do that. So that's just why it says the burden of proof must be greater than just borrowing money as an inconvenience to repay a debt or the debt. So maybe your car payment's too high, that kind of thing. So you can't just take money out because you feel like it. Now, there are circumstances where you can get a penalty-free withdrawal. You'll still pay the income tax, but not the penalty. So you can see right here, there's a really interesting circumstances, and you can see right here that a distribution was made to your estate or your beneficiary after your death. And that makes sense. A distribution for being disabled, qualified post-secondary education expenses. So that would be a degree of some sort in college. There has to be reasons as to why that is, and they will tell you why. Deductible medical expenses, IRS levy. IRS says, hey, I'll give you an exemption because I want my money because you owe me in arrears. Now, for those that go to the military, sometimes, you know, they don't have money when the spouse is overseas, so they allow you to take some money based on this 180 days here. And then you can see that installment of series and equal periodic payments over your life expectancy. So what they're saying here is you're living longer than you anticipated. So that means you can get money because of that reason. So again, these are really steep reasons, and if you get into that, you're going to have to really understand the rules before you do it, and you're going to have to check into that, and the IRS will certainly tell you how that's done. But on the whole here, we're just talking general budgeting. We're just talking, as we've gone through the entire book, the idea is to have money, to manage your money, and hopefully in most cases you should not be in a spot like this, but understand people have things in life they need to deal with and things come up. And you might be somebody who's managing their budget from a new perspective. So now that you're part of the squad, you're certainly in here making changes. And this is something certainly that you may have had to do in the past. And you can see why it's very difficult to make the choice as we go down further of what kind of penalties you can face. At all costs, try not to take this money out unless it's very, very mandatory. So here's our example. Here's the penalties. This is how it works. So we can see right here that let's say that you wanted to take out $20,000 and you're in the tax bracket of 25%. We've been using this all along, so we're just going to say that that salary that we've been using throughout the entire budget book videos is that the tax bracket is in the 25% range. And then the penalty is 10%. So let's see how the math breaks down. Of $20,000, that means, let's say your paycheck was $5,000. Let's just say they're going to throw this in your next paycheck, and it's going to say $25,000. You're going to be taxed at your tax rate. So figuratively speaking here, you're going to say, I'm taking out $20,000. I'm taxed at my 25% rate, and that means right off the bat, I'm only going to get back $15,000 to start. And then you have to pay a 10% penalty right off the top. It's a haircut. So 10% times this 20 grand is 2 grand. So that takes off another 2K. And that's where we get this 13 grand right here. So you're borrowing 20 to receive $13,000. It's a huge nut to swallow. So that means you have to really be careful, again, why you choose to take out money. If you can find other ways to manage your money, you should avoid going down this path if you can manage it. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. And in the next one, we are going to get into 11.8, taking a 401k loan, which is different than a withdrawal because a loan you get to pay back. Okay, so thanks for joining, and we will see you in the next video.